And we are live. Welcome everyone. My name is Niki Lopez of Niki Lopez Creative. And we're watching The Circle, where every Tuesday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm talking to artists, activists, social entrepreneurs, people doing great things in the world. And today I have a very, very, very special guest, Deborah Magdalena, also known as DIOSA. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Niki! It's about damn time, girls. About damn time.
I know I was going to get
everybody. And I'm like, oh, she met this person because of it.
I was perfecting my craft before bringing the goddess onto the stage.
I am so happy to be here with you.
Oh, man.
I'm excited for you, and I'm very proud of all your artistic endeavors and all the stuff that you've, gotten yourself into, and I think it's awesome.
Thank you. And I have people like you to thank and support and, putting me on to different things, and definitely one of the people that I've always looked up to in the creative space and advocacy space and community space. So, I definitely can't take that thank you without throwing a little back to you.
Wow. Thank you. My pleasure. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it.
Absolutely.
Receive it, rather. I will receive it with love.
Yes, thank you. So we're just getting geared up. We are live on a couple of places, and we have Deborah Kerr. Thank you for joining us.
Deborah. Well, yes. Deborah with a Deborah.
Yes, absolutely. So we're live on a couple of places. We're live on Niki Lopez Creative on Facebook. We're also live in the group, the Circle 19, the Niki Lopez art page, YouTube, and Periscope. And if you don't catch the live, you could go to any of your favorite podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, and you will hear this audio recording. So,
Niki, you got your hustle on. You have this whole thing hemmed up, as they would say. Good for you.
Yes. And we have on YouTube, we have Yes, joining us. And we also have Valerie at Happy New Year's, Niki and guests. Yes, thank you, Valerie. And it's so nice because Deborah, Valerie, T-Pop is one of the some of the people that's always joining the live. We've been live since January 2018, and we took our first break. Wow. So this is the first live of 2021.
Yay.
Yes. Oh, T-Pops agree with you. Don't get me in trouble, T-Pop.
That's what I said, T. That's what I said, T.
Oh, man. Nice to see you, ladies. Keep sharing your art. Absolutely. Yeah. And I hope to have the other Deborah on, because she's also an artist and doing lots of things in this space.
We women, we're stronger when we stick together than when we're apart. So
Absolutely. We have someone from... So if you're on the group, if you're in the Facebook group, I cannot see your name. So if you want me to say your name, you got to throw it in there. T-Pop, my bad.
All right. No, we see you, T. We see you.
Yeah, right. So let's just get started. So Deborah is many, many things. She's a performing artist. She's a community ambassador and cultural creator. So, and I know that's an extremely short list for a lot of things that you've done and are doing over the past years and years. So just, getting into it, what was something that sparked your creative journey?
Just being in my mother's womb. Really. I've been an artist my entire life. I was born into an artistic family of musicians, of singers. So my house was always a house growing up in Puerto Rico and in New York and in Miami, where it's always filled with musicians and writers. And so it was very common to me, kind of like breathing. Mm-hmm. Anytime I've ever done a real quote unquote job or something like that, it was me trying to get away from the entertainment industry or being an artist, because I was just frustrated. But as I got older, my parents allowed me to do anything that I wanted to to. I'm really, really a blessed human being, but I needed to do it masterfully. My dad was really strict. So I had to always study or have some kind of mentor or do, redo, and redo. So as far as that one specific time that sparked the inspiration, it's just I don't know any other moment where I wasn't inspired to create art.
And that's amazing that you had parents that supported, because a lot of times in the creative field, parents are like, well, let's do something, a real job.
Right.
So,
they always supported. It was more like, do whatever you want to do. And there was more pressure. Okay, but if you're going to be in the arts field, you need to be, masterful. And then it's interesting because my mom was an educator. She was first an entrepreneur in Puerto Rico running the family business. But Mami Provi is a retired special ed teacher. And she taught in Spanish Harlem in New York. And so now it's like I have a little bit of my dad's side from the artistic side. And now as an arts educator, I have mom's blood, my grandmother's blood of being an educator. So always just do whatever you want to do. If I wanted to be, an Avon lady, as long as I was the top Avon lady, then so be it.
Nice, awesome. We have a couple of comments. Oh, I see Cheryl from the group. Good evening, creatives. As usually, many, many things. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I know you do a lot of different things. You're a poet, actress, you've done theater. Do you have a particular art form that's your favorite or your go-to?
Without a doubt, acting. Without a doubt. That is really my spine. That's like, as a dancer, that's my ballet. Is acting. And sometimes I do wonder what would have happened if 9/11 wouldn't have happened, and if I wouldn't have left LA, because I left LA right after 9/11 because our family lost someone, and I just wanted to be on the East Coast. I just wanted to be with my loved ones, and that really shifted my life. And that's when I started writing more without any rules. That's how I started doing spoken word and just expressing myself that way. And then always being musically inclined, I started doing, musical poetry. But everything that I really do, really the core and the foundation is acting, is definitely theater and acting. If I'm in front of a class, I'm acting. If I'm in front, emceeing or hosting, whatever it is, I definitely take from my techniques for that. And my happiest place will always be in front of the camera on stage. Happiest.
Are you ever camera shy or stage fright or?
No.
Wow.
No. The only thing I'm shy about, believe it or not, is singing, and that's also because of my family. I mean, my brother's a virtuoso flautist, and it's like, yo, if I can't sing like Whitney or Mariah, I feel that I should not sing. So I'm really shy about that. But I know I can outact my brother and my dad. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like my happy place. Yes, do I get nervous and butterflies? Of course, when the work is important to me. I think any artist, like a visual artist, before an exhibit or before anything, a singer dropping an album, sharing any art form, really, a designer, a fashion show, whatever that is, when you care and it's important to you, get nervous. But that stage fright where I just cannot, where I'm paralyzed, no. Unless I have to sing.
Okay. And we have Valerie put in, yes, that was my mother. She was like, you're going to be a doctor. That didn't happen, but laugh out loud. But I'm struggling to be the creative that I am. Your parents are great for following.
Allowing you to be. Yes. I am the most blessed human being on the planet. And I really mean that and sincerely mean that. And I think working with middle school kids and high school kids that are artists, and to see the good and the bad of what they go through with parents, it just makes me want to come home or go upstairs and just hug my mom. My dad often. I'm a lucky girl.
And we have Shadia Nelson saying, hey, Deborah.
How are you?
She also said, never shy.
Another Swan sister.
Absolutely.
And wonderful educator, someone who does great work in the community via Urgent Inc. So thank you for tuning in.
Yes, absolutely. And, we have a small clip to share, but before we get to it, because I did read that there was an incident that kind of led you into doing poetry, where you started writing about the poetry. You kind of commented a little bit about the incident in September 11th and using that as a form of, was it more like self-expression, healing?
Yes. So I'm really going to age myself. I'm going to try to make it quickly. But there was a time when you are a film actor, theater actor, TV actor. I was TV. Did a couple of films that I was straight TV. I did, workshops for how to write screenplays and things like that. So you have to, good screenplay, the character development and the conflict, blah, 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 blah. And actors were not at that time. When you're going through some kind of pain, a musician can write a song, a painter can paint, but an actor always needs the permission of the casting director, or producer to practice their art. They start writing something, one woman show or so forth. And so the pain was so great, the frustration was so great, the holding vigil for so long to see if any of his body parts were found. What that first 30 days after 9/11 and seeing 9/11 happen, the pain was so great. I have a line that says, I felt like my spirit was going to leave my body. I remember holding my head because I just thought my spirit was going to leave my body. I remember describing that I felt like a lobster inside of boiling water, And so I started going to open mics because so what about character development and, conflict? It's just, I was just sharing my story. And then I realized, hey, wait a minute, I missed theater. I missed that contact with the audience. And I found this sense of freedom that I had never felt before, being able to still do my technique and write. So that's really what embarked and kickstarted spoken word. And I remember, I don't know who may be watching or who will see this, but there was back in the day in Miami, man, there was a hot spot every night. And truly one of the hottest ones was the Funk Jazz Lounge, and the host was Rashida Bartley. She was everything. And going back to my parents, it's like, okay, you can do anything you want, but just because you came back from LA, don't even try to be a hot poet because you're not. I remember inviting her for tea, to lunch, so that she can tell me. She told me what a slam was. I didn't know what slam was. Chunky, Chunky. I mean, she wanted me to be on her slam team. I offered her tea, and she looked at me crazy. Slam.
Yeah.
So, I took baby steps, and I still don't think, I have credits and things, but there's some spoken word artists that I really still look up to and have done nothing but that.
Absolutely. So let me gear it up. And we have Trina Sladeberg of No More Starving Artists saying, hey, ladies. Hello.
Hello.
And lots of love to Niki and Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have someone else. I'm trying to keep up with the names.
Oh my God! Remember that in West Palm Beach? Yes. And it was at did you come to the women's event that I was hosting at I think it was a Design Within Reach or Design, what are those furniture stores where I hosted an all women's open mic.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's queue up. So I have Trina said yes. That was it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna play a little short piece of a spoken word piece that Deborah made recently. We're not playing the whole video, so if you want to watch it, you could go to YouTube. So do you want to introduce the piece at all, or you want to do?
Yeah, I do want to set it up, and I want to give a little more information about it, especially for all those artists that are with us this evening or going to see this later. please go to artcenter.org like yesterday. Since COVID started, they have had a commissioning body of work called Heart of Art. And it is open to any and all performing artists, musicians, poets, filmmakers, dancers, and it is for you to create a body of work that reflects how COVID in Miami specifically has affected you. And so I did a short spoken word film. You can see it at the Art Center's .org YouTube and Facebook under Heart of Art, or you could just Google Heart of Art in my name. And so they have one more, and it may be the last. I don't know if you want to call it session or last selections. You get paid $1,000, and I think the deadline is on February. So I strongly advise all and any performing artist, which we can talk about this later also about how to get out there, to apply themselves and to submit. You have nothing to lose. Submit.
Absolutely.
So during COVID, my COVID experience that really affected me, besides not being able to travel, is living in this strict quarantine in which I still live in now to protect my mom. My sister and I still live in a very strict quarantine. Mom has a progressive lung disease, so she can't even blink at all COVID. And so my anxiety came with a vengeance. And the exhaustion of disinfecting and going through that ritual, daunting. So this is just a little clip of it. The length of it is about 12 minutes. But I would love to thank you so much for sharing this with the world, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's cue that up really quickly. Okay.
Anxiety is my new lover. A dysfunctional romance of love and hate, constantly altering my mental state, altering my emotional state. But today is a calm day. Our passion is steady as I methodically clean our fragrant bottles of purity, our love potions. Tight like latex, we interweave our fingers, protecting our legacy. Gloves moving like a ballerina who's rehearsing her Cinderella story. Until I hear the sound. The sound that lets me know she's coming down. It is no longer a calm day, but this queen's loyal servant bows and greets her with a smile. My heart begins to race. See, this quarantine has strained my light, making it harder for me to fight the temptations of going into the rabbit hole of washing, cleaning, disinfecting, obsessing, checking, double checking, wiping, protecting, repeat, washing, cleaning, disinfecting, purifying, obsessing, checking, double checking, wiping, protecting, repeat, washing, cleaning, disinfecting, purifying, obsessing, checking, double checking, wiping, protecting. I think I need to go out for some fresh air. Maybe I'll daydream about the beach. It always calms me. Wait, did I wipe down the doorknob? Back into the rabbit hole I go.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'd like to take a move up there.
Yeah, it's intense, I mean, it's intense, that's all I can say. But, I always all of my body of work and even this piece, I invite everyone to go check the whole piece out. I think that no matter how dark and intense, whatever it is that we're going through, it is so imperative that we remain hopeful. And that we allow ourselves to go to that dark place, but knowing that we have to stay hopeful. And so I think at the end of this piece, you will see that. But in order to be hopeful, we have to allow ourselves to go to that dark place.
Absolutely. Someone from the group put powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we have Maury. I see she said excited.
Maury? Yes. Maury?
Yes, she's watching from the circle, the Facebook group. So yeah, and so profound. Kathy Brooks Oliver said, "Thank you."
Right.
Yes.
I encourage you all to see the whole thing also, because you'll get to meet Mommy Brovi. That I'm always posting about her, and this is also dedicated to her and my love and obsession with her. So.
And we have that was Muriel Medina, another poet.
Yes, she's fabulous.
Yes, absolutely.
She's really grown. I think I remember. I've seen. I think and I say this with love and light, of course. That she's just really fabulous. She's always been fabulous, but I've been checking out some videos and stuff. She's really grown amazing. Yeah. So Valerie, my mom has pulmonary fibrosis. And that is basically when your lungs calcify and there's no way of reversing it or curing it, but we're blessed. I mean, people that have that have had to have, lung transplants and have had to do all sorts of things. And she's already been living with that for about almost 14 years. So, and she's 90. And so, and we've managed to keep her healthy, during this insane time. We're making major sacrifices, but it's.
Yeah. Shatia, what a powerful short film, a close relationship with anxiety. Yeah. And then also the vulnerability of sharing that, like I have anxieties. I don't really share. I sometimes talk about it, but just you putting it out there. But I think, that's also what art is about, when you could just have that space, because it's helpful. It also helps people relate. Other people who said, oh, wow, my mom is going through something. I deal with anxiety. So it's a connector as well.
Yeah. I think it's just once you understand, I guess it also comes with a level of safety and maturity as an artist. Some are just born with it immediately. But I think that it is our duty to be vulnerable and to show our ugly. But it is also our duty to show ourselves cleaned up afterwards. It's kind of like we are prophets, we are ministers, we are preachers, we are, if we get out of our way, we listen to any good sermon, no matter what religious background or spiritual background you may have, there's always turmoil. The only way you could connect to the therapist, the minister, the preacher, is by them sharing that they've been through that personal turmoil and how they were able to follow through.
I haven't seen it. I've never let you know I loved it. Oh, I've seen it. Never let you know I've loved it. Love me some more.
And T, that mommy loves you so much. And the painting, she looks at it every day. Hi, Susan. So happy you're tuned in.
Yes.
It's very important to be that vulnerable.
Absolutely. And there's someone else from the Trina saying we're historians. And someone posted on their COVID-19 really exposed vulnerabilities. Oh, Trina as well. Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing piece. I often see some of the posts with your mom, and you're sharing a lot of things. You like but she's like a kicking, doing well, drinking beer, telling you like it is.
Right. I mean, like to drink beer, that's like, oh, that's just got to be in the mood, because I give her Dewar's 12 every single night. She has her shot of whiskey every single night.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking at this moment, but yeah, I'm a whiskey girl.
Yeah, the day she really stops wanting to get dressed or put on her jewelry, even if it's just to be in the house, or even if it's and when I say jewelry, it could really be plastic studs. We grew up, Puerto Rican women are very vain, especially from the island. And no matter what, even if you were cleaning, you had to have little studs, perfume, and a little lip gloss, even if you were wearing sweats that had stains while you were cleaning the house. So as long as she is willing to wear the little stud and ask us to put her perfume on and has her whiskey, we're good. The day she doesn't want to do that, then that's when I'm going to be scared. That's when we worry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Grecia, thank you, Sis Nick, for providing such a healthy, beautiful space. You're welcome, filled with so much love for all of us to connect. Love you and your guests both so much.
Todo mi corazón. Thank you.
Yes. I don't know if you know Grecia. She's a drummer. She's with Femin Africa. She was a part of Venus Rising.
But wait. Did she, Grecia, did you play with us in 2018? Because we had Venus Rising in 2018.
Yeah.
Is she Brazilian?
I don't think she's Brazilian, but I'll see if she'll comment.
Cuban? I'm trying to think. I remember there was a Brazilian, there was a Cuban. It was like, I loved it. It was like international, like, United Nations of fierce women performing and drumming. And it was awesome.
Yes. So we're gonna see. Hopefully, she'll put. But while we, and I'm taking our time. I know we're going a little bit over, but hopefully that's okay. We're still vibing out here with the DIOSA. What is a community ambassador as it relates to your work the work that you do?
It's funny. I kind of came up with that name myself. And I was with my girlfriends, Yamile and Keisha from the Art Center, and I'm trying to think. I think it was, which is coming up February, I believe 20th or something. Stay tuned for that, for the Heritage Festival. Was it for that? It doesn't matter. The point is, anytime I'm at the Arch and there's either professional development or something where a lot of the other arts organizations gather, it's like, hey, Nikki, how you doing? Hey, Nikki, do you know T? Or you don't know each other? Well, T-Pop is a visual artist, and Nikki's a visual artist who has an online thing. And it's just like, I'm always connecting people, or like I'm that one factor in the room that knows everybody one way or another. And I'm always pushing and saying, you know what, you guys should work on this. You know what, this is not going to work out for me, but you should. I'm that connector. When it comes specifically to community events, and specifically arts education events, or outreach programs or residencies and things like that. So I'm like, you know what? Why am I not a millionaire? Just because I don't think anybody in the arts community, you have to be Hollywood, whatever. And I remember talking to Yami and Keisha and saying, I think I'm going to crown myself community ambassador. That's what I do. I just automatically connect people, connect things, and they make it happen. I'm not going to say that I make certain things happen, but the fact that I have connected so many people and they make it happen. So that's really why I think it's an important role that we all should take.
Absolutely.
And go back to that, we're all stronger together. We don't need to do another event that everybody else is doing. I'm not frozen. I'm just having a moment of silence, looking at the camera. Stay in your lane. Why fix the real if it ain't broke? Enhance what you want to do and team up with somebody. create something, bring a different element, or do something together, or, especially now that the arts has been so affected by COVID, and, our landscape's changed forever. Like, who's really want to go? A lot of people are going to be so lazy. They love staying home and watching shows at home. So I think that being a community ambassador, we all should be community ambassadors, and we all should take pride in connecting people and being advocates for our community.
Absolutely. And it's not enough people that do that. A lot of times people want to hold on to things. And I think, when you're talking about being blessed, I'd have to think that that's some of that karma coming back to you, because you're just like always sharing, always connecting. Like, oh, you don't know this person? I remember coming to one of the brunches, and you're like, you should know this person, and you sit there. And I'm like, okay. And Terry Hankerson, and for
right,
we became friends. She's come to my stuff. She's supported me since then. And and you have a lot of people, especially when you're coming up in the arts, or just being another female artist, or just being an artist, having to learn a lot of things on your own, and having to try to put yourself out there. And you might have fears, you might have other things blocking you, or you might have this where people get impacted by this elitism, like, oh no, you can't sit with us. And you're just like, here, connect, hi, do you know this person? So that's a gift. So, yeah.
It's important. It's so, now don't get me wrong, if you shady, I'm not going to hook you up, because again, that's just karmically, right? And I think that what's happening in this town a little bit, or it's happened, or what I think I want to align myself with now, maybe in this year or the next year, is to really be a more active resource, so that people know how to properly present themselves, follow up, how to have a resume, how to do the blog, how to do the website, how to do whatever that may be. Because sometimes, all we can do is open a door for someone. But it's up to you to keep that door open and bust through. When I first moved to Miami, before going to LA, the first thing out of my mouth, and it's still in my bio, first paragraph, sister of Latin Grammy winning Nestor Torres. I pimped that man's name like you have no idea. When it came to working in the Hispanic market, what anybody still that I need to get to will answer me because of his name. But it is up to me to walk through that door, and it is up to me to keep that door open. And so I take great pride in that. I've done that and made him proud. You don't want to embarrass somebody that kind of like. So, and actually, it's so funny that I'm talking about him. So if you hear my dog bark, or you hear the garage door open, it's because he's coming for his blessing from mom, and he doesn't come over often. So because of COVID, so when he does, I want to be okay. So if you hear anything, please excuse the noise.
Yeah, and my cat's over here meowing, trying to get in the scene too.
Yes.
But we're live, and this is real life, and that's what happens. We do art, we take care of our our loved ones, we got animals, we got babies and all that. So let's jump into Spoken Soul Festival. That's something that you've done. I've been a part of Spoken, I think 2011, but I've attended some of them. Can you tell us, for some people that may be under a rock and don't know what Spoken Soul is, what is Spoken Soul Festival? What's inspired you to start that?
I have to laugh because you are right. That's how I feel. If you are, if you never heard of Spoken Soul Festival, you definitely are living under a rock. But I've had a serious reality check that a lot of people do not know what Spoken Soul Festival is. Still, And so that just means it's a lot more work that needs to be done. So I was inspired to do this by one of my mentors. Her name is Martha Richards from Women's Arts. So I invite everybody to go to womenarts.org. And it's a resource basically for women artists to know and be aware of resources like residencies and grants and all sorts of opportunities. And she put a call out for women artists to put events together once a year where we can celebrate women artists. And that could be from a small dinner or in a big event. So I said, "Oh, honey, this is going to be a good excuse for me to get all my girlfriends together to do a show for me, about me, all about it." Didn't work out. In the sense that they let me know right away that it just couldn't be about me because the mission was so much bigger. And I really could not have done this for 13 years if it wasn't for the founders and those that are still, with me, like, Veronica, and definitely Amy Baez, who's been there since, day one, and Susan Alvarez, Natalie Lewis Shakur. Sure, I keep saying Shakur. I don't know why. That's awful. But Spoken Souls Festival is a community event at the Adriana Arts Center, and our mission is to support or spotlight South Florida women artists, and our vision is to make every South Florida women artist a household name. We do that through providing an event that is a showcasing event, doing some community educational outreach, and we also have a brunch where it's kind of like our fundraiser. So if you want to go and learn more about Spoken Soul Festival, please visit us at spokensoulfestival.com. More importantly, this year, because of COVID, we were the first official Arts Center live stream premiere. So you can also go to Spoken Soul Festival Volume 3 at the Arts Center's YouTube channel, and you can see a 30-minute show spotlighting South Florida women artists, which we are very proud of, and the production team worked so hard at to go from, we went on lockdown literally about 4 days before the actual event.
Yeah.
And we had to switch over, and not knowing for months at a time, and the artists were so gracious that they stuck it out with us. But it's an event that we've been doing for a while now, that we believe in. We think it's important. I believe it's important. And so please make sure to check us out. You can even donate if you'd like, because a lot of our crew is volunteer at this time, but we're about to shift that because this time we get paid for helping you out.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I ain't afraid. It was just a little dramatic pause. So, and follow us on Spoken Soul Fest. And we also going back to that, we gotta be community ambassador. Many times we blog or we have posts about other call for artists, like the Heart of Art. I think the Fountainhead now has a call for artists for moms. Mm-hmm. They can create. So we'd like to share a lot of information as well. So it's not just spotlighting women artists, but we believe in the collective of women artists, period.
Mm-hmm. Why is a space centered around women artists or women-centered spaces, why do you feel that's important or needed?
Go ahead, girl. That is a very good question. Well, the initial idea or the initial inspiration was wanting to provide a platform that simply did not exist for me or for us as artists. Mm-hmm. There's just and to this day, there is no forum or a platform or a space that is designated for women artists. And we are world ambassadors. We are the CEO of each household. We are mothers in so many different ways, even if we don't necessarily give birth. Mm-hmm. Of course, I can start talking about the logistics and the percentage and how women are still, not receiving equal pay, not receiving equal opportunity.
Yeah.
I can open the other can of worms about women of color that we accidentally are a collective of women of color. It was never planned that way, but it just happened. I mean, we're in Miami, right? So there are so many things that on paper I can tell you why, but I think every reason that someone does something in their life should start with a very simple desire within. And we want to provide something that we did not have coming up as a spoken word artist, coming out as a producer, as a director, as a writer, as a photographer. There just was no space for that. It was all men, 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 and we're still dealing with that too. And so it was just important to us to create that space. Because it's not just spotlighting, right? In the process of working with other women artists, you're creating a sisterhood.
Yeah.
Which Spoken Soul Festival has become, where you meet other women and you continue that support and you continue to create new work together. So it goes back to that community ambassador. It goes back to, I can give you the politically correct answer, and Natalie Lewis sure has all these great quotes and this and how many women artists in the world and the percentages and all that. But even with that truth, if I didn't feel it in my heart, and if the team didn't feel it in their heart, that it's important as women artists to do that, statistics doesn't matter.
Absolutely. We have KB's from on YouTube. Bravo.
That's my honey. Say it again. Oh. Take it easy. Say it again. Bravo.
Yes. Always great to have that type of support.
Oh yes, we are so blessed.
Yes. Yeah, Valerie, thank you for your inspiration and information. Thank you for sharing yourselves and experiences.
Oh, thank you, Valerie.
Yes. Grecia, Shadia Nelson, looking forward to reconnecting soon, perhaps through Spoken Soul Fest collaboration with Sis Sheila and Feminine Africa. Absolutely. And I think it was 2011 where I was one of the featured artists, and I just I came.
Let's talk about it.
Put up a tent. I was there for quite a few years, and I still come. And to this day, when I have, we have you have the Facebook page, where we have the group where a lot of the alumni gather and share opportunities and experiences and things. And I've definitely referred women artists to that space. And I've also tried to include as much as possible women artists from that space. T-Pop's been in several of my art exhibitions. Maury, Chunky, a bunch of people actually. So yeah, it's definitely a great sisterhood and network. So it's just, I love it. So.
Well, I'm glad you do, because it's a lot of work, but ultimately it is still very necessary.
Absolutely. And I like how it's like, how the day is broken down in terms of like the community service and doing something for, like, we did art for there was a children's hospital with children. I think they were diagnosed with cancer. And we did artwork.
And we did that at Little Haiti Cultural Complex. That's right.
Yeah, and doing and then we went to a women's shelter and help them with yoga and doing beads with the kids, and then having the performance night and it represents both visual and performance art beautifully. So if you're under a rock in South Florida and haven't heard from it, definitely check it out on Instagram and Facebook. And
we're really proud as to how much it's grown, and the team and I are really grateful for the Adrian Arts Center for being our partner and for really allowing us the space to really visualize and think big. And so, I mean, you remember, Nikki, we're always at a bar. Our events were like at a bar, throw up your work on the wall, and we're gonna, drink, and then everybody does, cute little showcase. We had a host, and then it was party afterwards, and now it's seamless production. I think your return in 2017, our very first one at the Arts, was kind of like the last one that we did,
Yes.
artist after artist. Now it's just a seamless production, and we're really proud of that, because that also forces collaboration, right?
Absolutely. Yes, I remember Marley was so little attending those things.
I remember Marley. First of all, I love the interview between you and he.
Thank
I
you.
don't care. I will be 90 years old, and he will be married or whatever, and I will remind him about his booger days, about the poor baby was so sick when we had to set up for the show. And we all took turns to wipe his boogers and to try to hold him so you could put up your art, because he was just feverish and pobrecito. He was so miserable. But he was our bonus child. He was our first bonus child, and he was a boy, and he was surrounded by all these crazy women.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Gracias saying thank you sisters for keeping our wonderful sisterhood alive.
Absolutely.
What are some of the challenges of being a woman in the arts? It could be women in general, or maybe some obstacles you've had to personally face and overcome.
I paused long because I have been blessed, and my passion has blinded me, where when I go, I go. And when I go for it. So I personally haven't necessarily seen or experienced struggles because I am a woman. But I do know that a woman's voice is very important. And we need more consistency and community. What happens in the arts and in many industries, and the arts, by the way, when it comes to decision makers, is more women than men. Right? As far as programming and stuff. We need to get out of our own way, and we need to stop hating on each other. Punto. I think many times we are our enemy, and we confuse what the word feminism means, and we portray ourselves in a way that we really are not being authentic. And so I think that I sincerely believe that the more we become as a community and show up equally prepared and professionally, we're going to be okay. But I don't feel that happens all the time. And sometimes I feel like, yo, I should not have to chase you to pay you. So, and I'm speaking specifically of South Florida. And if I get backlash, what is it? Backlash from it? So be it. I'm being my authentic self. I should not have to chase you to pay you. For you to give me an invoice, for you to give me the W-9. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to remind you that just because I want to support you, I'm still paying you. Therefore, you gotta rise up. And sometimes it's so frustrating, especially even trying to recommend people for arts education, residencies or teaching artist gigs. It's like, yo, your bio, homegirl. Everything now is Googleable.
Yeah.
How to write, little things like this. So I think that this is where I'm going to try to go and align myself. And it's like, everything is free. But that's not always good, because if it's free, you don't show up and take it seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm about to start charging and watch me become a millionaire. And people are going to be paying are the people that are not talented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They'll probably get further than those that are.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep it 1,000. This is
Mm-hmm.
we women got to fix ourselves in our unity and our community before we start saying, well, this and this and that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
we've done it before, right? When we had the pussy hats, we've done it before. We have moved heaven and earth before, united.
Mm-hmm.
Today, women artists really come collectively united and not get in their artist head.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And T-Pop said, long sip. That's why you the bomb. Speak the truth. But I love that you went there because there are challenges, and at the same time everyone has different experiences, but also there's also accountability as well. So when we are comfortable talking about the challenges, when we're comfortable talking about the people that hold us back, when we're comfortable talking about all those other things, we also need to kind of get comfortable talking about where we need to hold ourselves accountable and rise up to the occasion. So I think that it's I know you were making the joke about the backlash, but you do need that, like T said, speak the truth, because all of those parts, if we were to leave that out, we're leaving a huge, opportunity for someone to grow. And sometimes people need that in their face. And I've dealt with that as well when especially when you're trying to create space, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
When I put out a call and I'm trying to create space for a specific niche, marginalized group, and everybody else and their mama ready, just like, here, can I help you? Can I give it to you?
Right.
Can I fly my plane to? And the person that you're trying to help, sometimes we get caught up in this bubble. We're so used to the challenges that when someone says, I'm just giving you my hand, we don't know how to take it.
Right.
So I think it's important to also address that when we talk about women in the arts, when we talk about a lot of these things, we got to address the accountability parts too.
Right. Because, the worst thing, my least favorite thing to deal with in the festival is the artists. I said it. I said it. Now, creating, and all of that, and now you have the other extreme, right? Then you have the T-Pops. The T-Pops that will show up and show out every single time. So I can't throw more work to T-Pop because she's so busy all the time. But T-Pop still, from the first year, she's still my first go-to. And every year there's always an artist. We always say that. There's always like a collective of artists that just really show out, or they really start to, collaborate and create really wonderful work. And those are the ones that stand out. And again, I know that many people have said this, and maybe artists that are listening to this have never heard it. For you to succeed as an artist, or at least for you to make a living as an artist, last thing on your list, at least they tell you the 5 top things you need. Number 5 is talent. I'll say it again. If you need 5 things to succeed as an artist or be a working artist, number 5 is talent. It's not number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4. So if we really want to have a dialogue about how can we be better community ambassadors, how can we be better performing artists, how can we better, serve space? Why is this space needed? I think it's needed, but maybe we are not on top of the world because a lot of artists don't take advantage of it. Like you said, listen, I'm calling you to a call for artists to perform at the Arts Center, or to have that in your record. I had one artist.
These long pauses are amazing.
She is a brilliant singer-songwriter. Like, I feel she's genius level. But she lives in Broward. And she literally said to me, it's not worth it for me to drive to Miami to do the show at the Arts Center.
Yeah.
And she was getting paid. Which, you know, Niki, before that, nobody was getting paid. So luckily now that once we started at the Arch, there was some kind of payment. You know, so and the list can go on, but I don't want to go on a tangent, you know. But I really think that moving forward, I want to become more accountable by saying, you know, if I'm offering you this, it can really be about my word. And instead of, you know, throwing shade, it's like providing the resources. I may not know. I didn't know what the hell a Clubhouse was. Actually, I got a text today from one of our VPs at Young Arts. And he's like, you know, in the Young Art check. So who here is on at the Clubhouse? And I'm thinking, oh, she's asking who's working today. I'm like, hey, I'm at the Clubhouse. I didn't know what the hell a Clubhouse was. Then I Googled and schooled me, and I felt like, oh my God, I was something like a boring mother would say, right? So you bring someone on board that does know that. I gotta really at least give it one huge effort to help women artists because.
And I'm just gonna say, with that being said, I'm gonna throw in my little Clubhouse. I'm on Niki.
Nice segue.
But
nice segue.
I'm still exploring the app. I actually have it going. We have like one little person in Nathan. Thank you for joining us. So it's meant to be interactive and talk, but I've seen some people do them where they're just listening, and you know, I'm exploring it, and you know, it can't hurt.
Why do we need one more app for you just to listen? You could just listen on Zoom. You could just listen to a podcast. So why is it important? School me.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm still kind of getting acclimated with this. So I'm gonna have Yanathan. Did you want to answer that question? Or you just want to say hi?
Niki, it's Jan. Magdalena knows Deborah and I know each other.
Who is it?
Deborah.
Yes, Deborah Magdalena. It's an artist I know. Yanatha.
Oh my God, yes. Okay. Jonathan, why in the world do we need Clubhouse? Why?
There's a lot of business deals that are happening here. A lot of business deals.
All right, I'm gonna message you, and you're gonna school me. Jonathan is a brilliant filmmaker, everybody. So
yes. I'm sorry for
deals are made on Clubhouse. It's just like you want to cut a deal on the Clubhouse. Doesn't that just sound wrong anyway?
Well, you know the thing, it's an audio only. And it's unlike other social media. Like, let's say, for example, once this conversation is gone, it's gone. So you got to catch it when it's there. And you do have that where you never know who's in a room, and you could kind of jump into other things. Like, for example, you know, you can't just get on there like other social media. I'm just going to follow everybody, because then you're going to have crazy suggestions of rooms, right? If you target, like if you're trying to say, oh, I want to learn about this. Like, for example, I'm just now kind of getting into that conversation about crypto art. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's crypto art? How people make. So I'm learning some things, you know. Yanatha, I'm sorry, is saying he's cutting deals, you know. So I'm still kind of exploring it. I've learned a lot of different information, and I'm trying to get acclimated of how people are using it. Like I said, you know, let me just throw it out there, if anything, you know, just to see how it goes, you know. And so you have that, and you know, you don't got to get dressed for it. I'm dressed from the top up, because that's
right. That's you know, I got my chancletas on and shorts underneath this.
I'm not standing up to see.
But I did shower.
Yes, yeah.
Shower is good. And Deborah, what Niki was saying is great. It's not just deals, but you just talked about value-added information for young female artists or for female artists. You can lead a room to give some jewels. to say, hey, this is what you need. You need to, like, I offered PR services, but I every week I'd throw, hey, I'll give you a free press release, but you have to have your bio, you have to have your blurb, you have to have a headshot. If you don't have it, then give it, and so people would need, it's not only just to make these deals, but also to give back to that never know what they need to do. Like you said, number 5 is talent. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's some really good, talented people out there that just need guidance from, from Deborah and stuff like that.
Right. All right, I'm gonna message you. I still want to see the movie, and then I'm gonna go down with your Clubhouse. I gotta ask my boyfriend permission first, though, because just saying, yo, baby, I'm going to Clubhouse.
Got a little bit of a delay coming up.
So,
I don't know if that's my screen or yours, but the audio is kind of cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, the audio was cutting out a bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so she's coming back in.
Back.
Yay! Yes. We're back, but a little bit frozen. But yes.
Okay. That was funny. See, I'm telling you, I gotta ask permission about the Clubhouse, and we just froze. Ooh.
That's P-Pop, so you both are absolute most beautiful ambassadors to assisting us crazy creatives. Thanks. Yeah.
And even T, I mean, you're blessed that you have Jessica, right? But even without Jessica, you're not that crazy. You're just a gem. You are just one of the most amazing human beings and most talented artists I've ever known. Really and truly, sincerely. She's that. T is that.
Yes, absolutely. So I know you do a lot of things. Do you have any particular self-care practices? That was a long sigh.
I really need to get better with that. Mm-hmm. I really don't. And COVID has really, I haven't gone to the beach. I mean, we are making such huge sacrifices for our queen, which is an honor. Mm-hmm. I don't go to the pool. I miss going out to dinner, simple things. And I guess because her care is so intense right now that I realize if I go to the beach for all day, that means my sister's alone with her all day. She needs a break. And then being exposed to other people. So it's just. But I'm considering to go walking again at least, or, I do have to do something because it's important that we all do self-care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The only self-care I have right now is watching Netflix with my love and drinking wine.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Listen, we've watched some great programs this last week.
Yeah. Hey, that's a start. That's something. So, I always ask that because I like to share and find out what other people are doing, but also to kind of reinforce that, especially for those of us that's juggling a million things, that we gotta, and caregivers for important people in our lives, that we have to take that time and fill our cup so we could, help to serve them better and serve ourselves and not just, I know it's hard, I can't even imagine the stresses that you're under with, I know that you share a lot, to some degree, but I'm quite sure that there's a whole bunch of things that you haven't. So, hopefully incorporate some.
So maybe I should no longer say that I don't do anything for self-care, because we are very mindful of making time for each other. And I am now mindful of buying a scented candle. And so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself and know that, scented candle, dinners, and Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and every live, he has us on every live, which is great. So I take that back. Self-care is quality time with my love and making time to at least have beautiful things around me. I do buy flowers a lot, even if it's carnations, and a scented candle.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. If you had access to a time machine, where would you go and why? The past or the future?
Oh, past.
Okay. Any particular time period?
Yes, honey. The 90s was a poppin' decade. The 90s. I would have met my love earlier. I would have learned many lessons earlier. Oh my God. My break-in would have been, late 80s, early 90s. But the 90s was an amazing decade. I think I would have done so many things so differently. I just would have enjoyed things more. I wouldn't have been so much into my head. I would be a different artist today, a different woman today. The 90s was awesome. I didn't totally take advantage of them.
Okay.
What about you? That's a good question.
It's usually kind of like my throw-in question that I don't put out there. Oh man. I would have to say, hopefully without dating myself, because I am 25, I think.
Right.
The 80s, I think I would say the 80s when I was, a kid before all the crazy stuff happened, and, with my grandmother, who's no longer with us right now, and just, hoping to spend more time with her. So I think right now that would be where I would go to. And maybe, I don't know if I could, you can't really say if you had a different path, because sometimes, we have to get to that realization that all the things we've gone through is, made us who we are today. But yeah, I'd go in the 80s and.
Yeah, but I still wonder.
Yes.
I still wonder, because I think that everything happened for a reason, and you are meant to be where you're supposed to be now. But, you had the freedom of choice. And so certain choices probably got you there faster, or got you that, you got there longer, or, so this, I'm always so curious still.
Yes. How can people connect to you or support your work or see what next that you have going on, or get in touch with with you about Spoken Soul Festival?
Well, definitely, my Instagram game is just non-existent. So please follow me on Funkdalena, Funkdalena, and also Spoken Soul Fest. And right now, it would have helped me a great deal if you all went to YouTube and just watched everything I ever did. Yeah, I need those numbers, because it's important, right, to have those numbers in the heart of art. So you check that out, my work, my lover, and that's it. Until I guess maybe you can interview me again once I do the new Clubhouse situation and start charging artists for me to tell them what to do.
Yes, yeah.
Even if they get a full refund, but you got to have a deposit, because I'm not going to show up for free anymore. It's a lot.
Absolutely. Shadia said, "Give thanks for supporting in the heart of our art." Yes.
Yeah. You're very welcome, sis.
Oh my God. So we've gone so over, but I'm just.
Oh my God. I have to Nana, I gotta go. It's 9:40. I gotta finish dinner.
Well, I'm really grateful that you were able to take the time. We still have some people that's still live with us watching this. So I, thank you so much. Thank you for all you do, who you are, who you are to me personally, who you have been, who you are to the community. Can't thank you enough. I know you're like, it's about time, but but see, my screen is all pretty now.
Right. No, I hear you. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm
Yes.
very proud of you as well. And I thank you also for really being a part of the community and helping our sisters come together and do more work together. And whoever has been watching live, please do follow me. You know, I just don't like the way that sounded. You really don't need to follow anybody but yourself. Right? Please connect with me.
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
Via Instagram, Magdalena, or Facebook, Deborah Magdalena. And, you know, support artists right now. We need artists. Punto. The way things are going. Please stay safe and healthy and hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And wear your damn mask, carajo. I want to go out to dinner. I want to do something, yo.
Yeah. The more we certain things, the more you fight it, the longer it just lingers.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Niki, and thank you also for supporting Spoken Soul. You know, there were a lot of bumpy times when we really didn't have we didn't know what we were doing with grants or any of that, and you helped us with graphics and flyers and the website, and you're still hosting our website, and just know that I really also appreciate the support that you have provided Spoken Soul Festival and the Sisterhood.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure. So we're gonna wrap up. We went over. It's usually a half an hour show. For those who enjoy the show, this program is brought to you by What's Your Elephant? It is a movement that uses the arts to create a safe space to talk about everything unspoken. You can find it on the web, on the internet, on what'syourelephant.org. You could also find me on Instagram, all the social media platforms, including the new Clubhouse. So the easiest way, the link tree, Niki Lopez 19, you can find some of my links, check out what I'm doing, get a t-shirt, support the arts, support some of the things that's upcoming. And I would, thank you everyone who's listening live. There's, we went over like an hour.
Oh my God, I have to cook.
Yes, she has to cook. I got to get off. I got to get my little one to bed. His bedtime's 8:30, but when I'm on live, he's just like, he forgets that.
Well, send him my love and remind him that I'm going to embarrass him for the rest of his life.
I will. And for those of you who are going to watch this on the replay, thank you so much. Please remember to like it. Remember to share this. Someone can be inspired by this conversation, and you could be that catalyst that starts someone off, sharing this video. Deborah Magdalena, somebody might want to get into the next Spoken Soul Festival. Somebody might want to say, hey, I have something I'm going through. I want to do some poems. So please consider sharing this. And thank you so much. And I will see you all next week. Adios.
Bye. What do I do now? Leave studio?
Yes.
All right. So let's touch base tomorrow. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye-bye.